of IT, EC, Safety, Mechanical and Civil Engineering departments are thrilled to host this session. And the session will be on cracking co-placements in CS and IT. It is being held as a part of our Placement Assistance Initiative, Higher Up 24. And today we are honored to have Mr. Faizan, a distinguished alumnus of our very own IT department with us. He is an SDE in Amazon and brings in a wealth of experience and insights into this topic. I am confident that his guidance will prove invaluable to all of you. And without further ado, let's just hear from him. Over to you, sir.
Hey, thanks a lot, Durga. Everyone, let me just turn on my video. Is that will help to tell me the right? Hey everyone, so this is Mohammed Faizan. I graduated from CUSAT in 2019 from Information Technology branch. Been part of Amazon from then onwards, like right after college, I got into Amazon. Have been part of Amazon, working as a mid-level engineer for now. Worked into a couple of teams, and this is my second org in here. I'm currently working as part of Alexa. Uh, I just joined Alexa maybe 15 or 20 days back, post prior to which I was part of uh, an organization which was working or which works in finance automation, you can say. So yep, been 5 years. Have 5 years of working experience, and great to meet you guys. I was planning to, fortunately or unfortunately, I was planning to be in college for this session. I talked to Sariga ma'am. In case if you guys are aware about Sariga ma'am, I'm in constant touch with her. I had planned to visit college, but unfortunately, due to some business, I had to cancel that trip. Uh, cool. So what's the sort of crowd I'm dealing with? Is it just the CSIT or there are people from other branches as well? Anyone maybe in chat? Anyone who is not from CSIT, can they come in chat? Okay, guys. So everyone is from CSIT. Okay, cool. So, Durga, do let me know, is this crowd specifically for fourth year or what is it?
No, it's a mixed crowd.
It's a mixed crowd. Okay, sure. Uh, cool then. I have a whatever I'm supposed to present, it is very brief, and post which I'll open up for questions and answers. Questions and answers are specifically what I'm targeting for, because whatever monologue I have prepared, it's sort of very short, and basically will be based on the experience that I had 5 years back when I was in college. So definitely, challenges and problems have evolved. Sorry for that. Challenges and problems have evolved since then. So definitely want to hear from you guys. What are the challenges that you face? So I'll brief upon the preparation strategy that I had followed. It was It was mainly I was mainly involved into coding. We had a pretty great culture thanks to the third year back then. They used to conduct as part of initially it was independent. It was not part of ACES, but we used to these seniors used to conduct session at four classes. But basically, these were coding specific sessions. A lot of times they would cover machine learning and things like those, but mainly it was focused around competitive programming back then. Competitive programming was a hot topic back then. I'm not sure what's the case as of now, but these seniors would encourage us to solve more and more problems, be good at solving problems. which eventually helped. So when I was in my first year, they with their guidance, I would say, we were able to start problem solving. So if not already, and if you're planning to be in, have a make a career in computer science field, solve as many problems on these platforms as possible. So these problem solving helps you from two perspective. First, it gives you overall, I mean, it builds up your puzzle solving appetite, which is eventually you're gonna need anywhere in life. Whatever you are gonna do, you'll be like, whosoever hires you, you'll be solving problems for them. Now problems need not be very specific to given a linked list, reverse it, blah blah blah. It's not it's not how it is on the job, but rather it's always you know there would be unknown problems and you are supposed to deal with those. As and when you grow in your role in software engineering career, or in my opinion any career, the ambiguity of problem is just gonna increase and increase, and rightfully so. I mean, given the experience that you gain with time, you're supposed to solve difficult problems. These are not algorithmic problems, definitely, but doing problem solving definitely helps you build an appetite to solve unknown problems. That's first. Second, problem solving gives you an edge over your competitors in the job market, definitely, because for right or wrong, that's another debate whether problem solving is the only mechanism or a right mechanism to judge a candidate. But that is how interviews work. So if you are really planning to get into any tech job, problem solving is always going to give you an always going to be helpful. It's matter of another discussion that whether it is fruitful, I mean, if problem solving is the right parameter or not, but that is how it is, so we'll have to deal with it. And it's not like it's a very tough or impossible task to get good at problems. It's a matter of practice. Like anything which you practice, you become good at it. If you're watching Netflix series day and night, you'll get to know in and out of who has produced what Netflix series and whatever information goes around that. So it's just the matter of practice. Anyone who practices it well just gets along. It's not very tough. People like to those who have got into big techs and all like to pose it that way, that it's too tough and we have achieved something. It's not like that, believe me, I'm telling you honestly, it's not like that. Do problem solving. Even if you are not into competitive programming, do not leave problem solving. Do as much solving as you can. And specifically, you can choose any platform you like, Hacker Earth, Hacker Rank, doesn't matter. Whatever year you are in, wherever, at whatever stage you are in, fourth year, first year, third year, doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. Do as much problem solving as you can. That's the second benefit. Third benefit is you get to learn a lot of intricate details about these timing and space thing, like complexities you call it technically. But this eventually helps you get very good at basic computer science. I mean, you will get very good at it. Whatever subject you are reading, first and foremost thing you are gonna think about it, how do I make it basically how do I optimize things according to space and time. So for me, unfortunately, I just focused on problem solving in my college, which was a bad idea. I realized later. A lot of people make this mistake. They just learn subjects which will help them get through placement and exam. They do bare minimum just to get through the exams. I'm not saying you should not I mean, you should not score well. Always do score well. I mean, that's never gonna harm. uh, Good scores definitely help. At least it's not gonna uh, you know snatch the opportunity from you, like lesser grades do that. Keep good grades but learn your core subjects pretty well. uh, I cannot I mean, I'm unable to tell you how important these core subjects are. be it operating system, compilers, database, networking, name it. Learn these subjects pretty well, at least the part which is in your syllabus. I agree to the fact that uh, the way it is being taught is not an ideal way. It could have been better, but eventually you'll have to put in effort from your side. You guys are adult enough to learn subjects on your own. Don't expect someone to spoon feed it to you. Learn these core subjects pretty well, uh, as much as possible. I just cannot press on this point as much as I want to. uh, and do not, please do not focus on just big takes, that this is the world. If you don't get into these big takes, uh, I mean, there's nothing gonna happen in your life. It's not like that. I know I do have colleagues who started very humble and now are in big tech, and they left big tech because they are not liking the work environment. They are not getting to learn as much as they were learning in other companies or other startups. So never think like that big tech is the only place wherein innovation is happening. In fact, it's quite uh, rare to find a team which does very impactful work. I mean, which gives you very challenging work. It's quite rare. Most of the teams in any big tech are working on maintenance work, maintenance stuff, not innovating much. There's a market hype around that altogether. So the two, first key takeaway that you should be taking out of this call is do as much problem solving as you can. And second, learn your core subjects, like CS core subjects, pretty well. uh, and when I say pretty well, ideally you should literally focus on textbooks, courses like MIT Open Courseware. Try to read through research papers, learn as much as possible about your core subjects, because those core subjects are gonna give you an edge over like wherever you are working. It doesn't really matter. uh, so that's about it actually from my side. And if someone is in fourth year and they are worried about their placement, guys, do as much problem solving as you can. I mean, that's the least that you're that is expected in any good interviews. If someone is in open source or anything, that's awesome. Try to go for Google Summer of Code and things like those. They are really good competitions, and really give you a peek into how work happens in actual production software system, and like maintaining and building actual software systems, ready software systems. So that's about it. I hope you guys did not find it a rant or something. I'm open for questions, because you know that's mostly about it. That is how things were at my time. Any questions, guys? Well, I was hoping this part of the call to be more happening than the earlier one. Any challenges you are facing? uh, you don't understand what to study in your core subjects. You face problems with problem solving. You're in fourth year, you don't know what to do, it's already placement time. Any question, guys? Sorry, anyone? What should a beginner do? Like, is it admin, can you give mic access to everyone? Is that possible? Maybe that's why people are not speaking up. I don't know. What should a beginner do? Like, is it too late to start? Uh, can you define beginner? Malavika? I mean, first year, second year, what is it? Fourth year, okay. Beginner in what actually? I mean, can everyone be given mic access? Because
Yeah,
the,
my class is given now.
okay. Malavika, I mean, fourth year, beginner in what actually? Is it problem solving that you are talking about, or what is it?
Hello.
Sorry?
I was asking what's the beginner beginning? We don't have much experience in problem. Others.
Your
It is
voice is very feeble, or a bit hazy. So just let me know what, I mean, in what field you consider yourself a beginner, and then that will help me better answer the question. I'll come to Dhanesh. Do we need to focus more on competitive coding rather than getting practical knowledge such as building projects? Sure. So, see, do not think that competitive coding is not a practical skill. Competitive coding, don't do it for the sake of placement. If you really like competitive coding, then only go into it. Otherwise, just do problem solving. When I say basic, you should not be stuck to problems on array and loops, things like those. Obviously, you should be learning advanced concepts like graph, trees, recursion, dynamic programming, a bit of dynamic programming, things like those. But if you ask me that do you need to focus more on competitive programming, only focus or only do if you enjoy it. It's a sport. You don't play cricket because everyone around you is playing cricket. You play cricket because you like it, or for that matter, any sport. So treat it that way. If you do not like competitive programming, do problem solving. Pick up a problem on a daily basis, solve one problem, that's it. Go on lead code, solve problems. If you are stuck, try up solving and just keep on solving problems. That is how it should be. Do not force competitive programming on yourself. I have colleagues, friends who are in Amazon who did not like competitive programming. They did not do competitive programming. All they did was problem solving. Solve problems, and that should do. Rather than getting, first of all, problem solving is a very practical knowledge. Second is building projects. There's no harm in building projects. Build projects. It's going to give you an exposure on how to, for example, if you're building a website or let's say an Android app, it's going to give you an idea of how Git system works, how web servers are written, how how you can, how multiple people can collaborate on a project, how to make it more maintainable, how to add logs, all like things like those, how to optimize it according to memory. You're gonna learn it through projects. Do it. There's no harm in it. In fact, collaborate with people and make it live is what I would say. I hope that answers. Cool. NSM Robo, you mentioned reading research papers earlier. How does that work? I've tried reading them, but the language sometimes feel exhausting to read. Was there an approach that you found helpful? You can speak about difficult to read material in general too. I would also like to know why reading them is important. Awesome question. So for me, I am not well versed, or I do not read research papers very often, very regularly. In fact, I did not do it in college too. I know a colleague of mine, I recently started reading research papers, who tells this before you go on research papers. In fact, these books that you read on Tenenbaum and like Dinosaur's book on operating system. Uh, by the way, if you're willing to learn operating system, do not go for Dinosaur's book. I would suggest this book. Read it and go through it. This is a pretty awesome book. I mean, it's not as scary as Dinosaur book. It's very friendly. You can just search OS step. So in general, get your basics right, learn your basics well, and once you are through with your basics, then only move on to research papers. In fact, if you have a related research paper which you would want to explore, just go through the research paper once, find out the, it's guaranteed that you're not gonna, if you are a newbie, it's guaranteed that you're not gonna get each and everything in that research paper. And do not do DFS, like if I don't know this, I'll just keep on following, you'll just get lost. Get a gist of it, get a gist of how, mark out the difficult terms or things that you found difficult and could not understand in one go. Just mark those out, read it second time, third time, fourth time. Whatever knowledge you gained with by reading it four times, you will definitely get some idea of what the research paper is trying to explain. And in case if you find things, initially when you are going through research paper, treat things which you don't know as black box. Just get a two-line definition of what that term exactly means and just go ahead. Mark whatever you don't know for later. Explore those topic later, and that is how you are going to get versed to it. It's not going to be like you're going to be very proficient and you're going to be very productive reading research papers initially, but once you build a habit out of it, you're definitely going to get good at it. It's as uh, again, the same principle applies in here. It depends on how consistent you are at anything. And that is about reading difficult material. So if you are straight away starting with a difficult material and you don't know the basics, you are bound to fail at it. That's always gonna happen. Get good at your basics, and that is why I'm asking, get good at your core subjects. DBMS networking, operating system, compilers, everything. At least the part which is in your syllabus. Get that, get through that. Get worse in those. I hope that answers your question, NSM Robo. Take that as a yes. Richard asks, what kind of work do you do at Amazon? Is it challenging? See, as I already called out, it highly depends on which team you are part of. Some teams do challenging work, some do not. Initially, and for a newbie or for a fresher, everything everything seems to be, you know, if, ideally they should learn each and everything. But as and when you grow, you get comfortable at within some area. And right now, like, I stayed for 5 years in my last org, like from the time I joined, but the work became cumbersome to me in the sense that it was a monotonous task. So I had to look for another opportunity which would challenge me, and that is why I shifted to Alexa. The domain which I'm working on is highly uh, tech savvy, in the sense that you will literally get into issues of mute access, semaphores, race conditions, operating system, processes, PIDs, deadlocks, all of these synchronization issues, all of these are gonna be your bread and butter in this org. And I wanted to learn these things really well. That is why I wanted to explore this area, and that is why I had shifted in here. So yep, it is challenging for me. It might not be challenging for people who are, let's say, working in this domain for last 5 to 10 years. So it depends. You have to find challenge for yourself, and it's not like you have to bound yourself to a company or a startup to find a challenge. If you are doing that, you are digging grave for yourself, in the sense that, or for your learning, in the sense that you're not gonna learn much. You're gonna stay in same state, in same place. In fact, one of my colleague, he what he does till today, you guys might not believe it. He studies for 2 hours. He study for 2 hours on a daily basis, and to this day, 2 hours on a daily basis, and then reads a research paper on every weekend. and it's been like 8 or 7 years since he has passed out from college. So just think about the kind of learning that he is gonna get. Compare it with a person who is not learning anything. So learning should never stop, in my opinion, is what I would say. Uh, NSM Robo, if you like that book, I'll suggest one more material that you should be going through, and I would suggest everyone, in fact, just go through this list, teachyourselfcs.com. Uh, Read this blog. Uh, in fact, in my opinion, everyone should read every book that is mentioned over that website. It's not like I have, but go through that website. It has pretty good materials on every subject that you guys aspire to learn. Basics, like it will just strengthen your basic too much, I would say. Richard, your, I mean, did I answer your question? Okay. Any other question, guys? Then drop silence. Okay. Aditya answers I normally use late code for one issue. I always face it. Normally the solution late code are very different from how you solve the problem, even if I say it right. There is a change my impression and solving problem. So see, problems, this is how it works for problem solving. You try to solve a problem, and if it is accepted, then yours was a good solution. Do not doubt that, but look at other people's solution and learn from them. I mean, learn how they thought about it. That gives you an opportunity to learn. See, prioritize learning always, and you will grow, like literally grow by leaps and bounds if you prioritize your learning over anything else at whatever stage you are. First year, fourth year, 5 years experience, 10 years experience, doesn't matter at all. Grab every opportunity of learning, and that would be a core advice or single advice according to like in the field of studies, if you would ask me. So it's not a bad thing. And if you don't happen to solve a problem in first go, always up solve those problems, because up until the point you are, if you are not up solving, you are not learning altogether. Your learning is zero. I hope that answers the question. This website is highly recommended, the one which I pinged you guys, teachyourselfcs.com. Any other questions, guys? Okay. If not, then we can wrap up. Okay. How to Solve It by George Pole is a good read for problem solving in general. Okay, good resource. How to Solve It by George Pole. Is George Pole some competitive coder? Yeah. Innocent. George Pole, Hungarian American mathematician. Ah, got it. How to solve it? Mhm. Guys, if there are no questions, then I guess we can call it a meeting. Anyone? Have you faced any challenges and backlash from Amazon for your LinkedIn post, as I find it highly agenda based? Nope, nothing actually. Cool then. Nice to meet you all. Have a great day.